guys, this is Aashna from 94.3 Radio 1. You know those people who seem to do everything and just do it well? That's Diva Sharma. She's a Stanford grad, a Forbes 30 under 30 name, and a founder working at the cutting edge of healthcare and fintech. But that's just one side of her. The other, she's a trained singer with roots in pop, soul, jazz, and blues. And her latest song, Aurora Hunters, is proof that her creativity runs just as deep as her ambition. She also happens to be an avid listener of 94.3 Radio 1, which makes it an extra special pleasure and an absolute honor to have Diva with us today. Or should I say, the Diva. We're talking chasing lights, like quite literally, balancing two widely different worlds and the story behind her new latest track. How are you doing, Diva?
I'm good. It's so nice to finally do this, and I know we've been coordinating for a while, so it's really
been like a week or two.
we're day and night apart, so
yeah, we're
I'm
making
glad
this
to
happen
be here.
though.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm thrilled.
Yes. So, Stanford grad, Forbes 30 under 30, founder and singer. How do you usually introduce yourself when someone asks, what do you do?
That's a great question. Most people are really intrigued by my name. In fact, I was actually at this conference recently and I was meeting an executive and they were like, oh, your name is Diva. That's so interesting. And then he introduced me to his entire team and he was like, Diva, meet Diva, the coolest name ever. By the way, you need to meet this person and talk to her about XYZ. So I usually love when my name becomes a talking point because it lets me introduce myself as a singer, because everyone's like, oh, where does that come from? Especially in the United States, where there are people from all over the world. They're like, are you from this country or that country? Where does Diva originate from? And I'm like, my parents named me Diva because they were obsessed with music and pop, and they just wanted to name me after it's basically a woman with a beautiful voice. So I feel very its name. Yes. So I introduce myself as a singer, and then I'm also, of course, I love technology and I just love creating and building products.
Love that. Like, it's so rare to see someone who is doing fintech and also like music. So that's really cool. I love it. Your work sits at this fascinating crossroads of fintech and healthcare, and of course music. How these worlds collide in your day-to-day life? Like, how do you manage it all?
Absolutely. Yes. So for me, creation is it runs in your veins and you can build it as a muscle. And so I do feel like music and creating music is very similar to building products for the world. Mm-hmm. It's similar. You're trying to relate to people, and I always say that it's really hard to put out your first product or your first song, but then over time it gets much easier as you build up that muscle. It's like working out. People can grow, artists can grow, and it was very nerve-wracking to put out my first song and write it and work on it, but also I felt like it was a very rewarding experience, and it helped me overcome a lot of the holdups in my professional life too. So I feel like it was just a really great way to just put your work out there.
Love that. Is this your first song that you've put out?
Yes, it's my first song. I've written songs before, but this song was like, I want to spin this up quickly and I want to put it out. I want to put it out for the world. And I really feel like I listen to it, I turn to it when I want to feel like everything's moving, feel momentum. The song is a lot about momentum and finding your way. And so sometimes I just listen to myself when I'm walking or trying to figure out a problem, because it just it just reminds me, oh, I created this so that others could feel this way, and hope I feel this way too. And when I'm not able to, when I'm stuck, I just turn back to it. I love that. It's a very interesting feeling.
Can I just say, it sounds amazing. Like, it's very soothing, like something you would listen in the night to just like calm yourself down, and just like the ambition shows in the song.
Yes. So I really wrote the song. It was an overcoming song, and I felt like I'd missed a flight in Finland, and that's where a lot of people travel to see the Northern Lights. And so I was like, that's so interesting. And they've come there for months and they just camp there and they try to locate the Northern Lights and take photos, and they have parties outside. And it's just like, it feels like you're overcoming something, you're finding something. I just felt very confused in my life, and those lights just reminded me of finding your way. And so that's how I wrote it. And then I actually was really inspired by one of my favorite artists and she's written some incredible music like Chandelier and Alive, and so a lot of my inspiration also drew from those songs. I love her music.
Oh my god, that's the perfect segue because I was about to ask you like what inspired this track and you explained it beautifully. So let's move on to the metaphor part of the song. So I noticed that, like you've mentioned the Northern Lights. So like chasing Northern Lights is like so powerful, especially like the idea of holding on to like, stormy times, stormy nights. Is there a specific chapter in your life that mirrors this part?
Absolutely. I really do believe that there are parts of your life which you're supposed to grow a lot and learn a lot. And there are parts of your life where everything's moving very smoothly and you cannot even keep track of time. They actually do come true. And so there are times when you have to wait and prepare, and then times when things are just moving. And I feel like it's happened to me several times in my life. One was before I went to college. There was this lack of momentum and suddenly a lot of momentum. Moving across the world, India to the US and going to Stanford and a whole new world. So I had to really persevere, believe, keep doing the work without knowing where things would go. And it was the same way right after college, where it felt like everything was in a flux. I was trying to figure out my next steps, and it wasn't playing out according to what I had dreamt for myself. And so during those times, you slow down and you chart your path, and then you create, and it just led to creating the early stages of what ended up building momentum to get to the next stage. So I feel like for me, a lot of it was it's waiting and then preparing and then being able to really do what's been in your head. And it can be anything. It's not just related to career, but it could be related to love. A lot of people look for relationships, or it could be related to your family and fixing relationships in your family, or even your health, where you're trying to get somewhere with your health, and then suddenly you get to that stage, and then it's the next stage. So we're always moving consistently. And so I feel like for me, a lot of it was overcoming that initial barrier. But the thing is, you keep overcoming, and you keep, and in a good way. It's just lessons, and then you get to celebrate when you are able to reach that point and then move forward.
Yeah. The song was beautiful. But now that I've heard the explanation behind it, it's like more beautiful now. That is so deep. I love it. I love the explanation, and it's too descriptive.
Yes. So I've been thinking about my next title, and I was like, I want to write one overcoming song, but then what's the next one? And there's a bar really close to where I live in San Francisco, and it's famous for its espresso martinis. The energy is amazing, and it's just filled with people drinking espresso martinis. So I was like, the next song needs to be popping, and the next song I want to make it about espresso martinis for sure.
Oh my god, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be exciting.
Yes.
Love that. If Aurora Hunters were a movie scene, this is the fun question. What would it look like? Like, set the scene for us.
I imagine this really strong female protagonist. She's the center of the story. I also actually in my cover art included her little version. So
I noticed that.
Younger version of herself. And I sent it to one of my friends, and she actually asked me, is this supposed to be her sister or her daughter? But I was like, no, it's just a younger version of herself. So your younger self is actually what you put out in the world, and you learn as you go in your environment. And so a lot of our habits are formed over time and from our environment, and then you end up becoming your older self, and then a lot of times you are able to break patterns. So for example, sometimes there are pieces that hold you back, and then you're able to overcome them. And so I really feel like for this movie scene, it would be the young girl telling the older girl that, hey, this is what you wanted, and this is what you dreamt for, this, you wanted this, and so now you're in the middle of it, and you better overcome it because you knew back then that this is who you were going to be. And so I felt like that's what the movie scene is. And for some reason, I imagine a battle somewhere, a physical battle in the movie, and it could be a monster or a spy or some evil character, but where you're actually supposed to go and fight them, and like a Black Widow kind of scene, where Black Widow from Marvel is able to go and fight for herself. But it's because a younger girl told the younger version of herself told the older version of herself that she can do it and reminded her she's able to do it. And so that's how I would envision this movie scene coming along. And of course, then there are the lights in the background. It's really beautiful where they are, and it's like Finland.
Oh my God, if you ever get a chance to go see the Northern Lights, you have to text me.
Yes, I haven't seen them, which is really sad,
Yeah.
but one day. Mhm.
Yeah. Also, does it happen like when I see my childhood pictures, I just get a bit emotional? Like, you just explain it so well. Like, I know what you mean. And like,
Yes.
dedicating a whole song to that feeling is insane. Let's move on to another fun question. Who's one dream artist, past or present, you would love to perform Aurora Hunters with?
Ooh, definitely Sia, because she's an
Ooh.
inspiration for sure. Yeah.
What's the most surprising or random place you've ever written a melody at?
Yes, that's so interesting. Definitely the airport after missing my flight, because
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, that's going to be the highlight of your life.
Yes, because I felt like I was like, I'm going to use this energy to create instead of feel bad that I have to spend 12 hours at the airport. Yes, it was a bummer, but it led good things. And honestly, the airport was pretty nice. I cannot complain.
I love airports. Like your creativity just flows in an airport. I don't know why. Yeah, I have noticed as well.
I agree. Airports are fun, and honestly, it's just you can spend a lot of time at an airport.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun when you go and check out what's out there, and people watch
Surely.
sometimes, and just yeah.
It gives you like, oh, there's a bigger world. I'm like worrying too much. Like the world is so big, nobody cares about me. You know?
I mean, of course, I'm sure that a lot of people care about you, but also just I feel like seeing the flights, like the list of flights that where all they go, and I get so excited because I'm like, wow, you can just go anywhere.
Yes,
You could go
exactly.
anywhere
It's so
right now.
fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's say you're actually in the Arctic writing a lyric or a melody, watching the Northern Lights. Okay. You get one snack, one book, and one playlist for your survival.
Snack.
What would you pick?
Wow. Okay. For snack, I really like stroop these days. They're really tasty. They have caramel in it. Pretty yum.
I love caramel as well.
Yes, they're really tasty. And then book, that's so interesting because I feel like I've been reading a lot of serious books lately.
Ooh.
But yes, so a lot of serious books. But I'm trying to think through maybe an autobiography. Read about an autobiography of someone who was interesting and finally playlist. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a Sabrina Carpenter playlist with a lot of fun songs. Also, I really do like a lot of my old Bollywood music that I listen to. So
Oh my God, who knew you would be a Bollywood girly?
and then some Diljit too. I love his personality and everything he stands for.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. What's one thing people never expect about you? Like, despite all the things you're already doing, what is one thing that, people won't expect from you?
Wow, that's so hard to think about.
Take your time. We're going nowhere.
What do people not expect? In terms of how I spend my time, I feel like I do spend a lot of time just thinking about what I want to do in the gym. I love doing that. I'm also a huge family person. I mean, I'm sure that might be expected, but I actually prioritize my family above a lot of the things I do, and so I really just think a lot about them, and I would probably leave anything to tend to anything that they're want to chat about it. Yeah, so we're all very close. We FaceTime a lot, so I feel like people would be surprised how many phone calls I have from my family and how often we talk.
Oh, that's so heartwarming. Are you gonna visit India soon?
Yes, I will. I plan to visit soon for sure. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. We're gonna see
I love
you then.
spending my holidays there. Yes.
Yup. Okay, last question. If your startup journey had a soundtrack, what genre would it be, and what would be the title track of it?
So I wake up every morning. I try to wake up early, and I listen to Kanye West good morning, his from graduation classic, but I feel like it really pumps me up. So I'm gonna say good morning because it just symbolizes that every day is new, and you can do a lot in a day, and you can change what you want in a day. And so I feel like I really love that.
Yep, that was it. I hope you had a lot of fun as much as I did.
I thank you so much for taking out the time, and I'm glad we were able to make it happen. And yes, I am really excited to see all of the videos you put out, and just get inspired by all the artists you keep featuring. So
Lovely.
94.3 Radio 1.